Jack.
Off here. God damn, would you just go away? Go away! What? Need anything to do? Go! Go!
Brother! Brother! Brother!
No! Jimmy!
Hello, Internet. I'm me. And by that opening you saw, this is a dramatic episode. The most dramatic episode of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic ever. This is a Rarity and Sweetie Belle episode, y'all. And this is actually an episode about sisterhood. A very good episode. And if you really need the announcement, welcome to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Season 2, Episode 5. There, happy now? Anywho, this episode is mostly actually all Sweetie Belle and Rarity. And some Applejack and Apple Bloom. But other than that, no Twilight Sparkle, no Rainbow Dash, no Pinkie Pie, and no Fluttershy. And actually, as far as I can tell from the fandom, or most of the fandom, the other four, those are the most popular ponies. Most people don't really care too much about Rarity or Applejack, and I'm actually happy that these two get to actually have an episode devoted to more of them, where they get to speak their minds and have some character growth in the meantime. While the others are gone, and I'm pretty sure Pinkie does have a sister, unless it's a brother. She is nowhere to be seen. But, you know what? That doesn't detract from this episode whatsoever. Actually, very little detracts from this episode. The only thing that really detracts from this episode is, well, let me explain. In this episode, Sweetie Belle is actually going to be dropped off with Rarity. Sweetie Belle is going to be sleeping over with Rarity. Turns out that Sweetie Belle does not live with Rarity at all. Nope. We actually get to meet Rarity's parents, who are actually taking care of Sweetie Belle, but whenever they go on vacation, they drop Sweetie Belle off at Rarity's. And so, Rarity has to have Sweetie Belle living in the house for a good week while they're off on vacation. And this is the first time we get to actually meet Rarity's parents, and I'm actually very happy for that. I really felt like they were awesome. They were just kind of cool. They had the that Wisconsin, Milwaukee-ish, Canadian, dialect, accent about them. And the only reason I know it's Wisconsin, Milwaukee-ish is because my brother was born in Wisconsin and Milwaukee, so I met a lot of people with that accent. And it sounds Canadian, but there's a difference, so it sounds more Wisconsin than Canadian, but I digress. The parents were a great addition, and I actually loved seeing them. I was like, oh my god, they actually do have parents. And actually, I always did wonder how Rarity and Sweetie Belle lived together, even though sometimes she was there and sometimes she wasn't. So this answers a lot of questions in one short scene, where, of course, Sweetie Belle sets the kitchen on fire. Yeah, you gotta love them kids. Anywho, Rarity comes out, of course, running around like I'm crazy, going, what the frack, everything's on fire. And of course she gets the news that they're going on vacation, she's leaving them there, she's going to have Sweetie Belle for a week. So, of course, Sweetie Belle being Sweetie Belle, wants to help, wants to just be a good sister, and ends up screwing up a little, in a sense. She makes messes, and when there's messes, she cleans up, but the cleaning up actually was a chaotic mess, was actually a chaotic order mess, like when you leave things around your room and you didn't want it cleaned up because you knew where everything was because you left it there. It's not a mess, it's actually organized chaos. You know where everything is, it just looks like a mess. And of course, Rarity over this process is getting really pissed off and angry at how Sweetie Belle is, kind of screwing up everything that she has in her house. This is her house, it's her own house. And of course, there's that boiling point where Sweetie Belle's trying to get mend this relationship. So she tries to get her to go to this sisterhood extravaganza or something like that. I forgot the name. Kill Me Later. And of course Rarity hears that it's in Apple Acres and goes, new dirt. And of course they have a blowout. And of course it's the whole I wish I never had a sister, or you wish you never had a brother, or you wish you died with the other brothers. Never mind, it's personal. And of course they split up. And of course Rarity's thinking, well, I'm having a better time without her. And it turns out all the mess ups that she had done, that Sweetie Belle had done, like organized her inspiration room. Organizing it allowed her to find out a new fashion. Shrinking her favorite sweater allowed Opal Essence to wear it, and it looked better on Opal than it did on Rarity. And with these gems that she wasted on a picture, turns out to be a heartfelt love letter to her sister. It was very cute. And this episode, I'm saying it in a very serious manner, but how it's played out is like a soap opera, with a lot of the whole, I must, it's very dramatic and very silly, but it's only really Rarity and Sweetie Belle acting like that, while everyone else is kind of acting normal-ish for ponies. And of course, the day of the sisterhood thing, where they have a race, an obstacle course race, really, and of course they're going through the race, and of course Rarity has learned the errors of her ways and tried to get back to Sweetie Belle. Sweetie Belle just wouldn't happen, and so Rarity comes up with an idea, and the race begins. And as the race begins, she's actually going to be running it, instead of with Rarity, with Applejack. Sweetie Belle has replaced Rarity. Very good. And Apple Bloom is not very happy for that either. But, so they're running through the race, and Applejack gets covered with mud, and they're going through the race, they're acing everything, but they lose to Shirley, and, of course, Applejack's hat falls off. It's like, aw, her hat fell off. And it turns out, there's a hole on! And it turns out the pony under the mud was not, in fact, Applejack, but Rarity, which I figured out a little earlier on because their physique is completely different. But I digress. Turns out there was a mud puddle that when Applejack fell into the mud, wait, no, she did fall. Anyway, yeah, she fell into the mud. That Rarity was actually sitting inside the mud waiting for that time, put on her hat, jumped out of the mud puddle, and then ran the race with Sweetie Belle, showing that she can bond with her sister and allows herself to get dirty to do so, mending their sisterhood and ending it happily. And of course, writing a note to Princess Celestia because now all of them have to. And of course, Spike has to be the intervener when they start to argue when trying to write the letter. This episode was a 9.5 out of 10 for me because there were a few things that were a little off. Mostly with the conflict between Sweetie Belle and Rarity when they're angry at each other. I know Sybil anger. I know it well. And this felt right, but not for Rarity. Rarity felt it was completely mostly in character. Some of it wasn't though. Like some of the reactions, some of the comebacks to her, like the yelling, it seemed a little off, but that might be just me. So take that with a grain of salt. And of course, Granny Smith's voice changed in this episode, but gets a very funny bit, which I completely enjoyed. So this episode was actually a very, very good episode overall. Made me laugh and actually handled the subject of sisterhood or siblinghood very, very well. Actually defining it in a very not too cheesy way by actually making the setting up of this episode very cheesy and dramatic, while making the message not as cheesy in comparison, which I really liked. And again, this is an episode without Twilight, Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie, or Fluttershy. all those that are the fan favorites are not here, and this episode carries itself without them, showing that the writers, again, are flexible without writing in all the main characters, or the more popular ones at least. So, I love this episode. I'm going to leave a link in the description for you guys, and I am never doing an opening like that again until I become late again, or there's something special. Then I won't ever do it again. So until next time, peace.